Welcome back to the garage, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be working on the first gen big block Lightning. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is a 460 cubic inch 1994 Lightning. This is a real R-code truck that was left for dead that my friend SVT Kevin is bringing back. Now, I don't know if you noticed in the intro, this thing has a little bit of a whine. No, that's not the typical Ford power steering pump either. This thing has a gear drive in it. And unfortunately, something is going wrong with the gear drive. It's actually starting to shudder and bind a bit. So we're going to be pulling that out today. But we've also got another problem we have to address. This truck seems to be overheating, and I got a sneaky feeling I know what that is. So back when I was putting this engine together, there was this engine plus another engine scattered across my garage. So we had big block parts everywhere. We put a brand new water pump on it and used, the original timing cover here. But somebody might have forgot to put the mid plate in there. Just looking at it, it looks like it may be missing. So just for safe measure, we've picked this one up to replace it with. So I know there's a lot of you guys out there that are way more seasoned than I am when it comes to the big block Fords. But I think you would all agree with me that the parts can be challenging. Every time I order parts, I'm very concerned. I'm checking, double checking, and even then I'm still having problems with fitment. So I try to itemize everything that I do to these big blocks so you guys out there like me working on your cars at home can see what I did and hopefully see what works and what doesn't so you don't make the same mistakes I did. Now, a lot of these parts I have here today are not ordered per application, and they specifically state they won't fit. So it's anybody's guess how this video is going to work out. The first part I want to talk about is the separator plate or mid plate that goes in between the water pump and the timing cover. So what I did is I jumped on the internet, searched around for a bit, found that you can order a Ford racing plate that looks a lot like this, or you can get a pair of these plates for about $33 shipped to your door. They look like they have the right zinc coating, and they certainly look better than the old corroded, rusty plates that we all know we have in there. So the next part I want to talk to you about is the timing chain itself. Now this is what we're going to replace the gear drive with. I picked this up from Amazon for about 37 bucks. It also states it doesn't fit my application, but I'm pretty sure it does. So what this is a double roller billet steel timing set. It has a lower sprocket here for the crankshaft that has 9 different positions for degreeing your engine a bit. The last part I want to talk to you about right now is the timing cover gasket set. Now this set does not fit this vehicle or this model engine per everything I've looked at, but it looks the same to me and I'm pretty sure it is. We'll see if that's the case, but this is actually designed so that you pull the timing cover and don't lower the oil pan. You just cut the oil pan gasket at the block and then put these little pieces in there with a little bit of silicone. So now that you've listened to me ramble about parts for a few minutes, let's go get the hood off this truck and get to work. So I had a few people request that I do a more in-depth time lapse and I don't skip over so much of the work. So what I've done is I picked up a tripod with a second GoPro. We're going to do a time lapse from this angle, and then we're going to grab this camera and give you guys some more detailed explanations where it's needed. With all that said, there's nothing left to do but get to work, so let's do it. So we've been making some stellar progress with this thing. We've already got the accessories off the driver's side and the passenger side. We're down to the water pump. We're gonna pop that off right now and see if we've got that plate behind it. With the water pump off, it was pretty clear what I did. I forgot to put the plate on the back. So that impeller was just cavitating coolant. It wasn't actually moving through the system. So that's exactly why this thing wouldn't stay cool. So I don't know what I was thinking the day I assembled that engine, but I left the plate out. I built 3 engines back to back to back. 2 of the 3 got the plate, this one didn't. So I've learned my lesson. Hopefully you guys can learn from my example and don't forget this plate on your big blocks. So next thing we need to do is we need to get the balancer off the front of the engine, take a few oil pan bolts out of the front and get that timing cover off and see what's going on with that timing gear. balancer, the counterweight, and the timing cover off, we can clearly see the gear drive. Now, looking at the gear drive, I don't see much going on here. It looks just like it did when I put it in, but maybe there's something on the back side we're missing, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this thing off and give it a more thorough inspection. So I've got the gear drive off the engine. Everything looks good back here to me. I come over here to the gear drive itself and I look at it, and nothing's jumping out at me like there was an issue with it. But then I start looking a little closer. I noticed that this has got a bit of wear on the back, and this here, so I figured it's been getting into the timing cover. I look at the timing cover and I can see there is a place right there and there where it has been just kissing the aluminum a little bit. So then I start looking a little closer and I realize this right here, this thrust plate behind the pulley that holds the cam in the block is split right there and there. So that's not good. So I've worked on a handful of big blocks and a whole lot of small blocks over the years. I've never seen this happen before. So maybe I'm just lucky, or maybe I did something weird here. The one thing I'm grateful for is it was a clean break. I don't feel like we have any kind of metal fragments in the engine to worry about, so that's good. But I have no idea why it did it, and I don't know how to stop it from doing it again. So I'm going to jump on some Facebook groups. We've got some guys that are real big block enthusiasts. I know they're going to know just like that what's going on with it. And hopefully they got one of these sitting in their toolbox they want to ship me. But we'll have to see what happens. So this is going to be a two-part video, guys. Part 2 coming soon, and we're going to put some new tires on the back of this thing and see if we can't do a smoky burnout. But until then, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.